Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the YouTube world, CJ Rose is back in the building. Welcome back to the channel. Well, you know why we here. I gotta explain to you why we here. You know why we here. We got a special weekend. Actually, in a way, we got a big weekend. Because on Sunday, it is TNA Bound for Glory, and there's a lot going down. But on Saturday morning to be exact, it is WWE Crown Jewel. For the first time ever, Crown Jewel will not take place in Saudi Arabia. Instead, it will take place down under, Perth, Australia to be exact. This is WWE's second time in Perth. The first time last year wasn't bad. I'll say it wasn't bad. Could have been a little better though, but it wasn't bad. Crowd was decent, so I can only hope for the same or maybe a little better this time around, but we'll see. We got 5 matches. Let's hop on to it. We begin with the match that was made on Monday, as we got Big Bronson Reed as he goes one-on-one with the tribal chief, the head of the table, the big dog, the OTC, Roman Reigns, in an Australian street fight. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was going to begin this prediction video with a rant. I was. Like Monday, I was thinking about this whole entire thing. I'm like, all right, what am I going to say? How are we going to talk about it? Because this was before Raw came on. And this was before this match was even announced. So I was going to come on here and rant for like 2 minutes and ask myself, why did Bronson Reed once again miss an Australian pay-per-view? Because he was in that Elimination Chamber last year. He was healthy. He was 100%. He just didn't participate. He could have easily been in Elimination Chamber. Don't know why. But I said, all right, you know what? Cool. Bronson Reed ended up having a great year in 2024 before he got hurt. In 2025, this year, he's having a pretty decent year, I'll say. He's having some success, I'll say. But now he gets to be on a card with Roman Reigns for the 3rd time this year. The first time was a tag team match, and the last time was actually Clash in Paris, where Roman was taken out by both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and he was carried out in a stretcher. They alluded to that on Monday, and the way Paul Heyman kept emphasizing stretcher, automatically thought in my mind, oh, okay, it's going to be a stretcher match, which I was cool with. I'm like, damn, we haven't had a stretcher match in a minute. I would have been fine with it. But, no, it says a street fight. And my assumption is that stretcher will be involved in this match. I feel like a stretcher will be involved in some fashion. But this might get messy, might get dirty. I'm down for it. The thing is, who wins? See, this whole prediction video, I only got one definite match. I only got one definite match that I have with somebody winning. Everything else, I'm not sure. This match, I'm actually not sure of. Like, do we give Roman another win here? You know what I'm saying? Like, does Roman go 2 for 2 against Bronson Reed? Or does Bronson Reed come home and get a W? Which outweighs the other? I've been thinking about that. Personally, Bronson Reed needs this so much more. Him beating Roman Reigns on a pay-per-view? Hey, boost his stock. You know what I'm saying? Boost it. The match I had at Clash in Paris was actually pretty good. So I'm expecting another good match, but I don't know. I don't have a winner. So you know what? For shock value, I'm going Bronson Reed. Because honestly, I feel like Braun Breaker interferes in some fashion. Has to. Because you know Paul Heyman's going to be out there. Paul Heyman's going to be out there. I feel like Braun Breaker may interfere because he can. And then probably the Usos interfere. Even though Roman said, nah, I don't want y'all. I'll handle it on my own. But let's be factual. Braun Breaker may interfere. The Usos are going to interfere. And we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But for shock value, I got Bronson Reed winning. Because WrestlePalooza, I picked Braun and Bronson to beat the Usos. And I didn't really have them winning, but I picked them. And they won. So you know what? I'm going Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed with the shock value. Bronson Reed gets the W. As we go with the only tag team match on the card. And another home country individual. As we got Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, as they team up to take on Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Rhea is home once again, which tells me one thing and one thing only. Rhea Ripley is getting the W. Rhea and Io are winning 100%. There ain't no doubt about it. I ain't going to sit here sugarcoat it. Like, this is the only match I have a true definite winner. Because ain't no way in hell you bring Rhea to Australia and she don't win. All right. All right. Okay. I got Rhea and Io getting it done. Who gets pinned, though? I feel like the easiest answer is Kairi Sane. Kairi just gets pinned. But if you pin Asuka, does that make it a bigger deal? Because you already know Io and Asuka, they're going to have that one-on-one match. Probably at Survivor Series. That match will probably go down there. Or, damn, do we do War Games with that? I don't actually have no idea how War Games is going to be. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you how War Games looks this year. I couldn't even tell you. But, do we go... I don't know how Survivor Series goes. But this match, I got Rhea and Io winning. Io's just been so heartbroken. The Kabuki Warriors turned their back on her. Rhea's been telling her for a while, hey, you can't really trust Asuka and Kairi. You know, Io kept saying they're my family. And then they just turned. So, hey, this is where we are. A pretty simple story of betrayal. Yeah, I got Rhea and Io winning. Don't know who gets pinned. I want to say Kairi just for the simplistic fact, but nah, I got Kairi getting pinned. Again, Rhea and Io get the W. As we move on to the last time ever. One of John Cena's more bigger opponents in his career. He will face for the final time as John Cena goes one-on-one with the phenomenal AJ Styles. Well, no story here. We didn't take one path to get here. It was just the fans sitting here and saying, hey, we want Cena versus Styles one last time. And then Cena went on, I think he went on X and said, Triple H, do you not hear the people? The people said they want it. And then H was like, all right, y'all want it? Y'all got it. So literally, I can't tell you how we got here. Nothing happened. It was just the fans wanted it and we got it. And now people complain, oh, there's no story. I'm like, like, what do y'all want to do? Like, what do y'all want, bro? I'm telling you, the worst fans in the worst wrestling fans in the world are wrestling fans themselves, bro. It's It's like y'all ask for something, and when y'all get it, y'all complain about it. It's like, what more do y'all want, bro? Like, damn, y'all got the match. Cool. Cool. Damn, it's crazy. But, yeah, so this would be, I believe this is match number 5 with these two. Because the first match was Money in the Bank 2016, and then their rematch was at SummerSlam, one of the best matches. One of the better John Cena matches you'll ever see is him versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam. Then, of course, the record-setting match at Royal Rumble 2017 when John Cena became the 16-time world champion. I felt like they faced at 2018. I felt like they did. They probably didn't, but it feels like it. If not, then this is match number 4. Cena is only 1-2 against AJ. AJ won the first 2 meetings. Cena only won the match at the Royal Rumble. So AJ has an advantage. Again, I don't know who wins this. Because it's like, okay. Based on what AJ Styles said, it sounds like he's going to retire next year. And we already know this is John Cena's last year. So we're talking about 2 guys who literally, by the end of 2026, will probably not be in WWE anymore. They will not be here, right? So, who needs him more? I guess technically John Cena, right? Like, I mean, both of them technically need it. I mean, Cena's coming off, of course, that loss against Brock Lesnar, that dominating loss against Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. While in terms of big matches with AJ, I believe we're talking SummerSlam against Dominic for the Intercontinental title. I think that's literally the last big match AJ's had. It's not the last match he's had, but it's like the last big match he's had. So both of them need a win. I guess because it is his last year, I'm gonna go with John Cena here. Might be a great match. I hope it's a great match. You already know AJ Styles, even though he's set to retire, he still can put on a phenomenal match. We already know that. And John Cena, I think he's still got a good amount left in the tank to produce a very great match himself. So, yeah. I got John Cena. Yeah, I got John Cena with the W. Now it's time to talk about these Crown Jewel Championship matches. We're going to start with the women. As we got the Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, as she takes on the Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. So, matches like these, there's no story to them. It's just, we're just going to sit here and talk about these two's years heading into this match. If we're talking about 2025 for Tiffany Stratton, she started the year off by winning the Women's Championship, cashing in Money in the Bank. And ever since then, Tiffany Stratton has not lost a match. She has not been pinned. So, fair to say, Tiffany is probably the hottest superstar in WWE. Considering the fact she hasn't been beaten, she hasn't lost a match, she hasn't been pinned. In terms of Stephanie actually has had one of the better years for the women. She came into 2025 winning the Women's North American title in NXT. Then won the NXT Championship and becoming the only woman to hold the Women's North American Championship and the Women's NXT title simultaneously, and still the only woman to have won both. Then when she shockingly lost the title to JC Jane, I'm still going to call that shockingly, she went to Raw. She competed in Money in the Bank, won a battle royal at Evolution to get a shot at the women's world title. Was supposed to have that match against Naomi at Clash in Paris, but Naomi got pregnant, so that match was null and void until WrestlePalooza, where Adam Pearce made Stephanie Valkyrie versus Io Sky, and in the best match of the night, those two tore the house down, and Stephanie Valkyrie became the women's world champion. So to say that these two women have probably two of the best years in WWE, yeah, you can say that. I still got Io Sky as the 2025 female wrestler of the year. I don't give a damn what anybody says. That woman is the 2025 female wrestler of the year. But with these two, I did say, every other match, I'm not sure who wins besides the tag team match. That's my only definite winner. But in terms of these other matches, I wasn't sure. This match specifically, I am leaning more towards Stephanie getting the W. Because she needs it more. She technically needs it more. Even though Tiffany has been undefeated, I think Stephanie needs it more. Because, again, she just won the Women's World Championship 3 weeks ago. So she needs some momentum here as champion. And I don't think she's even... Has she wrestled since being champion? I don't think she has. So that's another thing. Actually, now that I say that, she actually teams up with Tiffany on SmackDown, I believe against Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. I believe that's the match they're having in Perth on Friday. But, either way. So I'm leaning more towards Stephanie getting the win. I don't know how it's going to go. This is one of my favorite matches. Why? First time ever. I'm a fan of first time evers. Love to see how things go. But if I had a winner, I'm picking Stephanie. If Tiffany wins, I'm not surprised. But I personally want Stephanie to get the W here. As all this leads up to the main event. And we already know it's the main event. We ain't got to think about it. We ain't got to have second thoughts. We know it's the main event. As we got the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, versus the WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Match number 4 with these two. And in the last 3, Cody Rhodes is 3-0. Seth Rollins has not beaten this man once. So, in a way, Seth Rollins deserves this probably more than anything, for being honest. If we are being honest, he deserves it more. Especially with what they did on Raw, with Seth talking to Paul and asking him, what happens if I lose? And Paul kind of broke it down. He was like, if you lose the faith of Braun and Bronson. You pretty much lose the faith of the locker room. The future that you had is not what it is. Pretty much you just lose everything, pretty much. I mean, he still keeps his title. He still is the World Heavyweight Champion, but then he'll kind of be like the secondary champion, even though technically the World Heavyweight title is the secondary title. But, in Paul Heyman's mind, you're not the guy. You're just this other guy. So, in that way, there's a story with Seth. With Cody, it's not really much. Because, again, Cody is 3-0. So Cody is confident walking into this match. But, if Cody wins, then what is it? But if Cody does win, there's more of a story for Seth. Like, if Seth wins or Seth loses, there's literally a story for both scenarios. And I think that's the thing with Seth. So So I gotta go with Seth. Cody can take a loss. Honestly, if we're being honest, Cody can take the loss. Like, if this was like a couple years ago, I'm like, I don't really see Cody losing. But now, Cody can take the loss. But see, the thing is, with these champion versus champion matches, it's like, where do they go after a loss? Like, it's a regular singles match. Your title's not on the line. But at the same time, it's like, you still lost. You know, where do you go from here? Like, who do you face? You know, what's next? You know, so I mean, with Cody, still what's next? But with Seth, there's some things there. So I got Seth Rollins winning, and I guess we'll see what happens after that. Again, to me, it feels like it's going to be CM Punk, Seth Rollins at Mania for the world title. Seth Rollins needs a lot of momentum walking into that match, so we're going to see how this goes. And then, of course, Survivor Series. Some's telling me he's going to be in War Games. It feels like that's where we're headed. I don't know what the teams are going to be comprised of, but it feels like he's going to be there. I don't think he's defending the world title. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. But Seth Rollins is going to be part of Survivor Series. I know that. Then you got the Rumble. Then you got Elimination Chamber. Actually, probably got Saturday Night's Main Event somewhere in there. He's probably going to be on there. So you got the Rumble. You got Elimination Chamber. And, of course, you got Mania. So these next couple shows, he needs all the momentum he can get. So we'll see how things go. But for now, I got the Visionary with the W. And that is my Crown Jewels prediction video. Crown Jewel is going down on Saturday. I did say early. For me, for New York, 8 in the morning. 8 in the blasting morning. Oh, man. It's good. Ooh, and yes, I will be up at 8 in the morning watching this. So you will get my review at like 11 in the morning. And then after that, I'm sleeping. I'm knocked out, bro. I'm waking up at 7 just to ready myself. Waking up at 7, making me some breakfast, then we watching Crown Jewel, bro. It's going to be crazy. But you already know what it is, man. So until then, it's been Rose, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love, support. As always, just realized I got another video I got to make from last night, because I did say I was going to talk about that Dark State and Hardy's match to determine who wins both the TNA and the NXT tag titles. I'll probably do that tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But until next time, peace, love, 100. Hear it?